Hey guys, welcome to another video, Purple Political Talk here, and today we're going to be talking about the crucial state of Texas and its impact on the 2020 election as Joe Biden comes into striking distance of winning the great state of Texas. So, we're going to look at the data we have for the 538 forecast, which also has polling data, and look how likely is Biden to win here, and what would the repercussions be on the 2020 presidential election? So before we get started, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to be notified when we post our next video. So let's get started. So currently at the state of Texas, statewide, Joe Biden has a 32% chance of winning in the state of Texas, compared to Donald Trump's 68. So at this point in time, he is behind. However, when it comes to a percent chance of winning, it's not completely out of the blue because percent chances of winning are essentially a little bit less of what can happen. So having a 1 in 3 chance is a very strong number. Keep in mind, Donald Trump won in 2016 with around a 25% chance of winning. So Joe Biden could definitely win here. And I think at this point in time, is it the most likely scenario? No. However, he could end up leading or even winning in the state of Texas come November 3rd. So, what's important here? We're seeing an upwards trend for Biden. We saw Biden come close, of being ahead in chances of winning. According to the forecast, he never was ahead in chances of winning. He was ahead in polls for quite a bit. However, he went down to a point where it was almost a 20% chance of victory that he had, which is still pretty decent for a Democrat in a state that voted for Republicans by 7% in 2016 and by more in 2012. That at this point in time, those margins or chances of victory were still good for him. However, those numbers keep on going up. And if this trend continues, which we don't know if it will or not, because at this point in time, we're also dealing with the election, I guess, with the debates, and we're dealing with all of that other data. So at this point in time, that's going to be something that may not necessarily happen. However, it could definitely be a possibility. So what's important in the state of Texas? It's these polling numbers. So we're going to go on to the Texas all-state polling data, where currently, if you look at the polling data, President Trump is only ahead by 0.7%. That is a very slim margin. And if you look at the whole graph, we saw Donald Trump had a pretty solid lead when it came to February. He was ahead by around 4 points, which is a good margin. That was the most he's ever led by. Ever since February, he has been going down, not going up. We saw throughout February when the pandemic started to a little bit of hit, he started going down, 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 until truly we saw the Black Lives Matter movement in mid-July, June, which really narrowed down the race. When George Floyd first passed away, we saw the race started to narrow down. It was within the half a percentage point, and then it went back up again. We even saw Biden leading for a good period of like about a week or two, and that was a strong time for Biden. Now, usually when we see past election results and past polling data, usually what happens in the summer is not necessarily going to happen, or it's not going to be at that extent, because during the summer, usually the person who ends up winning the election usually leads during the summer, but sometimes it doesn't happen. In 2016, Hillary Clinton led all throughout election season with a little couple points in most states that she did win. And in the state of Texas, we're seeing a trend where Donald Trump is winning a lot of, but I think one crucial thing is these polls within the next week or two are going to be very decisive for some voters, I guess, and it's going to show us about 50% of the country has already voted, so that's going to be something crucial. And of course, come like October 31st, October 30th, we're going to start seeing more of the crucial polls that tell us where the election lies. Remember, American voters have, when it comes to memories about the elections and memories about all that different things, usually it comes to the last 2 weeks. For many, the last 2 weeks are this 2 weeks that have passed. For most, it's going to be right before election day. And just looking at some of the polls, the most recent polling averages that we have, which is September 23rd, we have Donald Trump ahead by 0.7%. Again, exceptionally strong numbers for President Trump. Now, is all of this likely to happen? Is Biden going to be able to win. I mean, in the state of Texas, normal scenario. At this point, probably not. But he is well into striking distance, and he might even win by a landslide. That is not guaranteed, but it's definitely a possibility as Democrats are performing strongly in most places around the country. And at this point in time, the state of Texas is a state that a lot of people have to look into and see what truly is going to end up happening. And I mean, this model just shows us that Donald Trump is ahead in Texas. However, things can definitely narrow down. One last thing I wanted to show you guys in the state of Texas is the popular vote. So this is how they expect the election to fall when it comes to the numbers of raw vote, what percentage of the vote would each candidate get. And in this case, we see in the state of Texas that it's definitely in the purple. So if you have seen past my past 538 forecast videos, you would know that if the line falls in purple, the general line, that means the election is truly contested. It could go to any candidate. So at this point in time, that the race being in the purple area, that's a very good sign for the Democrats. And to be honest with you, they're not far behind. According to this, currently Joe Biden's only behind by 3%. So getting that 3% may be hard because there's a lot of votes you would need to flip, according to their projections. However, I think it's very interesting to see that Biden is definitely within striking distance in this state. And I mean, it's not only the forecast that shows this. Polling data, as of recently, it's been very close and tight for President Trump. We saw a good period of time where Biden led in polls. And in this state, what's truly going to be impactful? Those Latino voters, they go out in the masses and go out and vote for Biden. It's game over for Trump in certain areas of the state, which might cause them to lose the election. However, overall, we're also seeing a little bit of spike between Trump support among some minorities, which is something else that we must take into account. And at this point in time, we're seeing a very good race for both sides in the state of Texas. The Republicans should be worried. This state is narrowing down a lot more than what it should be if they were looking to win this state. And overall, I would say that a victory for Biden is definitely a possibility. However, it's not the most likely thing to happen. And most likely, in a best case scenario, it would definitely happen. So, guys, this was my 538 forecast on the state of Texas. My analysis on the state of Texas, talking about whether Biden can win here or not. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please give it a huge thumbs up, like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to be up to date with our latest content. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and goodbye.